Tax relief right now for your second chance. 1-800-217-7965. That's 1-800-217-7965. American Tax Relief.
Everybody's talking at me.
My guest, Steve Camarota, Director of Research at the Center for Immigration Studies, and we were talking about those states with high immigration, low teen labor, and I mentioned Nevada. So basically, Stephen, when I was talking about construction, forget that. That has nothing to do with teenagers. But what about tourism in Nevada? Do a lot of teens get to work at restaurants and things like that, or is that being taken over by the adults too?
Well, Chuck, I should tell you that construction has been a traditional area of employment for U.S.-born teens. Less and less so, obviously, as the immigrants have crowded them out there. But traditionally, yeah, there were a lot of kids doing construction, especially, male teenagers, obviously, not so much.
Yes.
But even in 2007, it was still one of the top 15 occupations employing U.S.-born teenagers. So it's not something that they don't do, but they do it less and less. In regard to the other issue, yeah, obviously in a place like Nevada, a lot of it is food service and food preparation and other hospitality-related occupations.
Well, do you think, I don't know if this report would show it or not, but do you think that it's gotten to a point where a lot of parents say, well, I don't want my child working at a restaurant or, doing dishes. My goodness, they have to work at a mall. They've got to work in, one of the high society shops. Do they get this impression like their children are just too good to do manual labor, so to speak, that they think the immigrants should be doing?
It's an interesting question, and that may play a role. Now, remember, one of the interesting things we found is that the decline among low-income families in their teenagers working is very similar to the decline for high-income families. So if the family makes under $25,000 a year or over $100,000 a year, the decline looks almost exactly the same between '94 and 2007. So that would tend to suggest that it's kind of a universal thing. But you might be onto something. It's certainly true that non-work in the summer has become more common. Now, more kids are enrolled in school in the summer, and you might think that would play a role, but the thing of it is the decline for kids in school, if we just look at those who are in school '94 to '97, or we just look at those who are not in school, the decline parallels each other. In other words, again, the decline is very similar for the kids in school and the kids not in school, though the share of kids in school has increased a lot. This is because of more college enrollment, more kids going longer or to summer schools or to have some kind of tutoring going on. But it hasn't really changed the fact that even if you just look at the kids who aren't in school, their decline is very, very large. Or just look at the kids who are in school, and their decline is also large. So it doesn't seem to be that the change in the share working and a change in the share in school doesn't seem to be what's driving these results of so many fewer kids working.
Now, also your report gets into internships, and there's a change there too, right?
Well, internships have become more common, but it's mostly among older teens, especially those in college or those who've gone on 21, 22, that sort of thing. But the thing of it is there just aren't enough of them. The main estimates are that there are about 100,000 internships a year, and the increase in non-work among teenagers is over 3 million. So the number of unpaid internships there just aren't enough of them to really account for what we're talking about. In addition, they're mostly for the older kids anyway, or those actually in their early 20s, and the decline is the same for the young teens. There aren't many 16-year-olds or 15-year-olds or 17-year-olds in internships, yet they show exactly the same decline as the 18 and 19-year-olds. So it seems very unlikely that it's the internships. I mean, just to give you another example, the decline in work among high school dropouts who are teenagers and those who are attending college is virtually identical as well. And yet these are two groups on very different career tracks. The high school dropout, for example, is almost certainly never in an internship. And yet they show the same decline. So it doesn't seem to have anything to do with internships.
Well, and then I'm sure there's listeners saying, boy, I wonder how all these figures are going to change if they ever get another amnesty, for 15 million average. It'd be interesting. Listen, we're out of time, Stephen, and I certainly appreciate you coming on today and giving me this report. Have you got a brand new one coming out on CIS that the listeners should be aware of?
Currently, I'm actually looking specifically at California and how California has become one of the states with the most skewed income in the country, most unequal states in the country, and it does seem that immigration's playing a really big role in that process.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Look forward to that report. Stephen Camarota, he is the Director of Research, Center for Immigration Studies. The website is www.csi.org. csi.org. Thank you, Stephen. Coming up next, Frank Savato, Executive Director and Director, Terrorism Research for BasicProject.org.
Times are tough.